The World Cup is the greatest football fiesta in the world. There's a reason why it is called the World Cup. We've always said that from 24 to 32, that it is not a true representation of all of the continent and all the teams in the world. So therefore, FIFA decided to expand it to 48 countries, 104 matches. It means in pidgin English, una go watch football, una go tire. It is football, the upper class, the middle class, the lower class. In the words of the former coach of Italy, Gennaro Gattuso, he was asking who is Caracao, who is Cape Verde. Well, it's not far again, we would know. And the fixture that opens it all is the opening fixture of the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. Mexico hosting South Africa. The last time out, it was that Chabalala moment. It was also, in his own world, the greatest moment of Peter Drury as a commentator. So let's see what the stars that would shine brighter than the rest. Is this a World Cup where Portugal wins it as well for Cristiano Ronaldo, just as in Qatar the Argentine team won it for Lionel Messi? There is a whole lot to talk about. There's a whole lot to look forward to, but one thing we can tell you is that for every weekend game or every week game that goes on Monday, we'll be here to give you our reviews and preview games. And today we will take two key games that concerns us in Africa. Yes, one, the rest of Africa, especially the Black Africa, the west coast of Africa, will be hit watching this one. And I know that I don't think that there is any West African that will be rooting for South Africa. It is the Mexico versus South Africa game. Every one of us will be rooting for Mexico. Even though they are very far from us, we will be rooting for them. Then there is the one that everybody is asking. This is a very tricky one. Brazil is like the Real Madrid when it comes to national team. They are loved by everyone and anyone. And then one of the most loved coach in world football is currently the coach of Brazil. I'm talking about the Don himself, Carlo Ancelotti. So when you put all this together, it is a country that loves to steal towel, trying to play against the five-time champion, who doesn't really have a good team. Star player Neymar is rapping Continu or probably rapping White Tower. They will steal him with the tower. I don't know. But we would look into all of that and many other things and start players and make our predictions at the start. You also can do the same in the comment section and tell us what team you think will make the quarterfinals, the semifinals, the finals, and who's going to win it. What player is going to come out as the best player of the tournament? Who's going to be the highest goal scorer? You know, what are the things that you think this World Cup would throw up? At the last World Cup, it was 179 goals. You know, how many goals will be scored? Would this be the first World Cup where we get to 200 plus goals? Because the number of games is a whole lot. If you give it 2 goals per game, that would be about 208 goals. Well, I've got two very, very powerful, solid voice, two tried and tested men who know football. One is a statistician, is a man who monitors games like he is the one who's responsible for blowing the trumpet. And there's another one who is an erudite akokite, a man with precision, a man who understands football way, way better than his age, a man who is like the ancient of days in the game. He's been here before. He's going to continue to be here. And even after that, he's still going to be here. He's a great guy. He's a master. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future becomes a NFF president or CAF president or FIFA president even. I'm talking about Michael Adegbile. You like to call him official Mikolo. Mikolo, how you doing?
I'm very well. Good morning, Edafe. Good morning to our fans. Good morning to the listeners. Club football is over. We are ready for national football. I think this is the one that blows all of the lines of, club tribalism and all of that. This is the one where people join together. There's Arsenal, there's Man U fans, there's Chelsea fans supporting England, there's Manchester United fans supporting Portugal. So, this blows all club tribalism. We put all of the club tribalism to bed, and it's time for world football. This is the greatest show of all time, and we're really excited for this one. This is the biggest one. not just in number, but also in size. 48 teams. End of the era for some of our key players, some of our legendary players. So it makes it all very exciting to
and new
to
opportunities for some too.
Definitely, there's going to be some breakout names in here. There's going to be some breakout teams, dark horses here and there. The World Cup is one that comes with its own story. There's no form. We're coming into this one with form. Maybe we won something 4 years ago.
Nobody cares. Ask Argentina and Saudi Arabia last time out.
2 years ago. This is national team football. National team football comes with its own drama, and this is national team football. You see teams like maybe like Iceland that has probably less population than Lagos upsets big teams like England and all of that.
Absolutely.
So yes, we are looking forward to this big one.
So let me go over to this man. Is a statistician, a mathematician, what wonderful guy who took Morocco, the last AFCON, by storm. I am fasting and praying, pitching and hoping that we can also take him to the next AFCON and see, what's it called, Pamoja?
Yeah, Pamoja 2027.
We could go to Pamoja 2027 and see what we can do. I want to say, even though this is the WGB TV, I want to say massive shout out to everybody who is subscribing and commenting. But then, massive shout out to those of you who subscribe and help Elevated TV Sports go up to 25k subscribers. We hope that one day we'll be celebrating exactly that and more on this channel. Having said that, Timothy, how are you doing? I like your hair. What's that name that your neighborhood your friend call you?
Ipaja Kunde.
I didn't say it.
Kunde from Ipaja.
Yeah, good to be back on the show. It's really fun to.
You don't even call you Bakola or something. Just call you Kunde.
I don't know why, but I mean.
Yeah, because Kunde dresses well, and Timothy dresses well too.
That's why. But yeah, good to be back on the show. It's the Mundial time. When I was growing up and started understanding football, I understood the World Cup from that. That the World Mundial was copped from the
Copa Mundial.
Yeah, exactly. So I like to call it the Mundial most times. So it's the Mundial time. For those who don't know what Mundial is, still talking about the World Cup. Good to be in the World Cup week. And funny, I don't think I've watched the World Cup starting on a weekday. But
never.
Yeah, it's the first time, and because it's a larger tournament, larger competition, of course, football would always give us different things in dynamic way. So let's get started. And talking about my hair, I like my new style. Really
I
cool.
like it too.
But I don't think I want to be doing this every time, because it's as if you are putting, if they say you are doing surgery, because I mean, having to lock your hair, the pain is not, something you want to.
Beauty is pain. It's
not something you want to be going through. Although when I started in November, 2025, it was the first time. I mean, then there were 3 people on the hair, because my previous hair was a free form, so they had to loosen it first. Then one person was loosening the front part. Then the person that was doing it was handling the parts. But when I finished, it was really painful. But when we were going for the AFCON, I did it in December. At that time, it was quite different from the first one. Then when I did it in March again, it was I already got used to it.
Getting used to
so
it.
So this time around, when I did it last week, I'd already gotten used to it. It was not even like, aside from when it was working on it, when I was done, I did not feel any form of pain.
I've never really had that experience. Okay, so a lot of people don't know this, but I was born with dreadlock. I was born Dada. And so mine is, they used to tell me when I was younger that, I shouldn't enter the rain, because once rain touched my hair, it would tangle. But what I realize is that whether rain or no rain, but once I bath and shower, I get that. So it's not really much of an issue anyway, but it's one of those things that I think that, but this one, I think I will do exactly what you've done.
Are you sure you can do it?
I will. I have a very soft scalp, like my mom, like my kids as well. So if you pay me, I will cut them. It's my hair. It's not a big deal. But let's get into the World Cup. Are you feeling the fever? There is World Cup fever. When your country is there, but before we started qualifying on the 8th of October 1993, when Finidi George scored that goal off the back heel from Daniel Dabola Mokachi against Algeria in faraway Algeria, we also, I watched the 1986 and then 1990. There was the fever in the air. Do you have that feeling in the air right now, or it is just straight from Champions League football to transfer windows for you? This is personal, not what others are saying. You.
Yeah, I have the feeling that it's the World Cup. I know that people will talk about the fact that maybe there are shootings here, killings there. There is the part of hiking tickets, logistics, and all that. But I mean, the World Cup is always the World Cup. Whatever drama and knowing the World Cup, there is always conversations. Even before the Qatar one, we first talked about how the World Cup hold in November, December. It eventually held and it became one of the, became one of the best World Cups we have ever seen. So
Still the best. I don't think that these three nations will be able to do better.
exactly. So the World Cup would always be the World Cup, and yeah, for me, I'm really anticipating to see so many games. Although yeah, it's a different time zone. The one in USA '94, I was not born then, but I think this is the first time I'm watching the World Cup out of a normal time. But I remember watching Beijing 2008, the Olympics, the football tournament, and I tried to keep up with watching some games, even as a young lad then. So now that I understand what football is more, there's no way you tell me I can't watch the World Cup because it's in a different time zone from where I am. So I'm looking forward to the World Cup. There are so many games to anticipate. I mean, so many coaches. Brazil already has a European coach.
First time ever.
A German is managing an English team. Like, so there are so many dynamics to it, and I'm really looking forward to see all of everything that would unfold in the World Cup. So many players that were dropped that we would expect to see, but are not in the World Cup. Would they be supporting their teams? Would they be beefing them? They say there's Mugabe in France. Is he the one that will be making the choices of picks of the national team? Mugabe is Mbappe, if you don't know it.
I know.
So, I mean, there are so many things to anticipate, and I really wish that Argentina can win it again.
Whoa.
Hold up.
Wait a minute. Don't come and spoil the World Cup. No. Don't come and spoil the World Cup for us. What? Argentina win it again. Why?
Now only then come now.
I want the last World Cup did not involve
Whatever you want.
You asked me why now.
wait,
Now you ask me
did not involve
question.
what?
Okay.
Now you ask me question.
Okay, let me listen.
The last World Cup, Lautaro Martinez won it, but he was injured.
Oh,
but now,
okay.
but right
It's from
now,
a personal point
he's
of view.
in form.
It's from
Inter
a
Milan
club.
rubbish.
It's from a club
Inter Milan
POV.
rubbish that you brought to this
Don't
place.
bring that one here. I beg.
No, Argentina can win the World Cup now. I don't know. They're also favorite. If you list
Yeah.
5 teams that will
Yeah.
win the World Cup, Argentina should be there now.
You see as they look you.
No, but in your church mind, can Argentina not
Once
win the World
Argentina
Cup?
start getting to the semi-finals, I'll start beefing them. I don't do hate watch, but I'll start like they should lose this match. They should lose this match.
Yeah.
I like Argentina. I've loved Mario Kempes, Maradona, Ariel Ortega. I'm a die-hard fan of Angel Gabriel Batistuta, Crespo, just name them. Lionel Messi and the rest of them. Fernando Redondo. Whoosh. But you see, this World Cup winning it back-to-back, not the pellet time. In this generation, people should sweat. You know how God told Adam, from sweat, common bread, bread where Morocco people they give for free. Morocco people don't listen to that thing we God talk about. He said, out of your sweat shall you eat bread. The winner of the World Cup should get it out of that. Is it APL? Is it Champions League? Why would you win the World Cup back to back? No, please. Let's not even entertain that kind of thought.
I think we should not talk about winners yet. I think we should also talk about what we are really looking forward to, and just like
that's where I'm coming to you now. What are the things that for me when I go into a game, I'm looking at controversial moment that will help me, because as an analyst, you look for joy when you are able to explain incidents to people, and it's different now when I'm a YouTuber than when I was on radio, because when I was on radio there are no YouTuber, there's no combo, there's no Antican, there's no anyone that would instantly go on live on their. So I'm trying to learn it, but you can't teach an old dog new tricks, so they say. But this old dog is going to learn new tricks this time, because it's important that when I look at my channel and I say 25,000 people, the first thing I say to myself is, am I doing enough to entertain these 25,000 people? Am I doing enough as a salesman to retain them and get them coming back? Yeah. So I would do more live, I would do more content, I would do a lot more react. But having said that, when I go into a game, back in the day when I was on radio, I first off check all the rules of the game. This is me, I'm revealing secret now. I check the rules of the game because I anticipate that there could be controversies. I want to go on radio and not just talk gab, just talk rubbish, but being able to interpret the rules of the game and bring my analysis to bear based on that, because I know that football is a game of emotion and passion, and some people don't like it when the things go against their club. But what would alleviate that whole anger is if you're able to come and interpret the rules for them and not say what every other presenter or analyst are saying.
Yeah.
They say, I don't like this guy, but I think I like what he has said. He has said something that I like. I respect him for that. That's the way I've gone to it. But this World Cup, now to not approach it, remember that when you do radio is different from when you do YouTube. YouTube is wild. It's crazy. Radio, you do not anticipate that. Let's say, for instance, you want to go live on radio. You don't care whether anybody is listening or not. You just go live. YouTube, on your screen, you are seeing is one person that is there. It's two. And those two people, maybe it's your wife and your son. But that's not the audience you want to reach. So you are stalling. And in talking sports, once the fader, once the thing come live, there is an adrenaline. There's a push on the inside. If the first 5 minutes you are not able to regurgitate that thing out and pour it on the show, the show will drab. It will slow. You will struggle. So there's always all those things. That's why when I hear people say, is it not come on YouTube? Very simple thing. YouTube is the hardest thing that I've done. I have played football. I got injured and got out, but I've played football. It is sweet and easy. Yeah, I know this will make people want to slap me. I have coached. It is fun. I've worked I've worked offshore in the sea in an oil rig. I've worked in construction of a oil servicing firm. I have done all that work. YouTube is the hardest job that I have done after being a father. Right? So when you put all this together, for you now, Mikolo, what are your, say, a list of 10 things that you're looking at for the World Cup? This is my satisfaction list. If all these things happen, then I'm satisfied. I have committed my time, especially this one that we have sleepless nights. I've committed my time to this project, and I think it was worth it. Or if this does not happen, then the World Cup is a flop.
I think first, before I even go to the things I'm looking forward to make sure the World Cup does, is also we need to recognize that the World Cup happening every 4 years really helps you to measure your growth. It helps you to measure where you are mentally, because I think with every World Cup watch, you can always tell where you were in life. It was a conversation that I saw on Twitter and really just made me rethink the things that were going on. When you watch, probably in 2010, I was in SS2. I remember when I was walking around that Ojota Road, I'll be singing Waving Flag with my AirPods on. All of that. So I was singing Waving Flag. 2014, I was ended somewhere in Abeokuta. 2018, I was in uni. I was in Unilag 2018, and I was working on radio. I remember myself and Mr. Sheon Ajidagba then were analyzing World Cup. That was 2018.
I like that guy, Sheon Ajidagba. His understanding of cricket.
Yeah, cricket is his focus. So it was me and Mr. Sheon then on radio. We're doing World Cup show. He's still in Unilag. I think he lectures and still does things in Unilag. So
Great guy.
2018, then 2022. I remember I was working on TV. I was working with a crypto TV somewhere in Ikeja. Somewhere in Ikeja, as well. I was analyzing World Cup. And I feel like once that person just said it, it just made me realize that every 4 years, it feels like you just can measure,
recalibrate.
You can remember where you were when you were watching the World Cup. So it really just helps you, react on life. And I'm really looking forward to this one as well. Maybe the hype is not as much, but I know that the moment the first kick of the ball goes off, because I remember the 2022 World Cup as well, it wasn't really looking like it was going to be World Cup that we were looking forward to. Just like what Timothy said, we're looking forward to the fact that it was November, December.
Blew us out.
It's really a different kind of vibe to what they called it the Winter World Cup and all of that. So we're not really looking forward to it. They were building stadiums out of containers, all those kind of things. We're
modular.
They're not a big footballing nation. There was so much shout, but you see, the moment the first kick of the ball came on, everybody just left it. There was Saudi Arabia defeating Messi's Argentina. Ooh. There was this one going on. There was that one going on. There was footballing going on in every corner of the world. So there's a lot that was going on. So I feel like the football will always deliver, irrespective of whatever it is that is going on around the World Cup itself. And I think that's the one I'm really looking forward to. We're going to be seeing a lot of things, right? We're going to be seeing a lot of things. I'm also looking forward to the American factor, right? Because we saw that during the Club World Cup, the whole style of coming out, the whole, because I think we would always complain, right? But it's also very important in sports marketing that you do things that are very peculiar to the nation that is hosting a particular tournament.
I agree
and
with
I
you.
feel like that's what the US did with the Club World Cup. I complained at first, right, about the nature and the way they are going about things. But just know that as it went on, you would remember that Club World Cup as the one that USA hosted. You remember it for the 100,000 capacity stadiums, the full places, and all of those kind of things. So I believe that at the end of the day, the World Cup year is going to give us that feel. Mexico are going to add their own flavor to it. We're going to be seeing,
colorful things, spicy.
When as an editor, there's something called the Mexico theme.
Yeah.
There's a Mexico color too. Just like when you watch movies, you can shoot a movie in the normal light, but once you add a particular theme to it, it becomes a Mexico theme. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the arts. I'm looking forward to all of the things that are going to be coming. And then Canada as well. I'm looking forward to what they're going to also impute for the nations that are going to be playing there. But for US, what I'm looking forward to the most in the US is the crowd, right? Because, we've spoken about how they constantly have very large stadiums, right? We are going away from the 60,000 that is like the norms in Europe. We're moving to 90K. We're moving to 100K. We're moving to things that are very, very big to that. So I'm looking forward to that.
There'll be a lot of injuries in this World Cup.
Yeah, and also there's like more numbers. There's more teams now. There's 10 teams from Africa. So we have much more teams to support.
And Nigeria is not there. 10!
Much more teams to support. More teams to its watch. Probably we stand a better chance now at getting to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
And maybe even getting somewhere. So we stand a better chance maybe for the very first time and all of that. For the second time, I think
Morocco
got
was
to
in the semi-finals,
yeah, and they were in the top
Qatar.
place. So I feel like it's going to be exciting. The moment the ball is kicked, everything else will be forgotten.
So
But I'm also very particular about the security. I hope, right? That's like the negative side now. I really hope we don't have mass shootings or anything that can derail the spirit of the game.
I can't say anything for US, but it's
football.
also very good to know that Iran are not pulling out.
Before you
one Iranian player was held at the airport. Yeah,
before you go on, I want to ask you because of about the US weather. If you remember, go back to the World.
I just wanted to go there.
Okay, go back to the Club World Cup. There were so many breaks. I mean, the game could be going on, and then there could be break. I remember there was a game that was on break for 1 hour 30 minutes. I mean, football itself is 1 hour 30 minutes, and for players that have already played maybe into 60 minutes,
the game have gone.
You have to play. Do you know what it takes to come back and refresh your body then to complete the game? So, are we in a time where the weather favors
football?
Never.
Well, it was about this time. It was about
it was about this time. So it's summer.
It's the same thing.
It's summer in the US. Canada have 8 months of cold. As a matter of fact, they have an entire year of cold, like Russia. But I mean, this period would be warmer. Would be like Spain. This period would be like Spain. But it does not necessarily mean that it's extremely hot. But the US, Texas, Miami, New York,
so many breaks.
the dirtiest and smelliest states, New Jersey, those places, it's going to be hot. Even Houston, it's going to be hot. Atlanta, maybe that side is pretty much okay. But America is hot by this time. So for those people who are looking at it like, oh, it's going to be a run of the park. And the US have hosted the Olympics in 96, in 84, one of the biggest. And then they've also hosted the World Cup in 94. So we can't, pretend like, okay, it's a new thing. It's not a new thing. And a lot of people travel, a lot of these players travel to the US when the season ends. So they know what to expect.
I think going for vacation on the beach is.
But let me say this, going for vacation and battling the weather is not the same thing. We were in Morocco in July. We love it. We went to the beach. We have fun. We went in December. We fell sick.
Nicolo, keep all in clothes.
All the drips that we planned, we were looking for things that we all dressed like we're pastors. Like God called us to go and start church. Nicolo was like bandits. You understand? So, but I think the players would have to survive. Have
you guys seen the pictures of England players? They are turning real bad. Like when they were drying themselves in the sun, and you could see that Hurricane was turning red.
Yeah, so that's why I was surprised that Portugal has still not arrived in the US.
Could that be the reason why Thomas Tuchel went with more black players?
I don't know what that is, but it could be possible. There's a science to that.
Ivan Toney.
If you see the players that he's taking,
and he has said that Kane will not play all minutes.
Oli
Yeah,
Watkins.
I wouldn't even want to play Kane in all minutes anyway. So all of that they
I
should
just thought about
expect.
that one. That might be true.
They should expect all of that, and then England is most likely going to win the World Cup. I mean, they are my number one pick anyway. But having said that, let's look at some record. Do you know how many pair of brothers that will be at this World Cup?
I think it's 8.
I think 8 or
Is it 8
I
or
can't,
6?
I can't give the real numbers, but
I think
know
it's
that
8 or 6.
there's the Dewey brothers, there's the William brothers. Who else? Dewey, Williams. I think these are the ones that know off my
Yeah, and Timber. The Timber brothers too.
Timber brothers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
that's them on the screen.
that's-
Well, like we came prepared. Don't worry yourself. So let me read you through this.
8.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup features the most siblings pairs in tournament history, with 8 sets of brothers representing various nations. This includes several playing for the same country and others facing off as international rivals. Now, look at it from this angle. The siblings pair competing in the tournament include Lucas and Theo Hernandez
France.
for
Yeah.
France,
Yeah.
Julian and Quinten Timbers for the Netherlands,
Timber.
Leandro and Junio Bacuna for Curacao. That same Curacao, almost brought another pair of brothers, but then they dropped one. Now, Duroy and Leros Duarte for Cape Verde. Now, let's go to the countries that have 2 brothers that might be playing against each other, but I've chosen to play for different brothers, like the Boateng brothers. So Kevin Prince and Jerome Boateng, in time past in 2010. Inaki and Nico Williams, Ghana and Spain. Okay, that's a very, very contrasting one. And then you have Derek Lucasen and Brian Brobby,
Yeah.
Ghana
Sunderland.
and the Netherlands. Then you have the one that interests me and one of my favorite team. You have the Goela and Desiree Doué, Ivory Coast and France. Remember, they lock on against each other in a friendly.
Yeah.
France have not lost a friendly leading up to the World Cup in 16 years. The last time it happened, it was 2010. And France went with fantastic players in that tournament, but then they got embarrassed.
Did you watch? I watched the Anelka documentary last week.
The first team that had a mutiny, Raymond Domenech was the coach. Getting past that, we also have John and Harry Souter, Scotland and Australia. It is going to be a lot of family affairs in this one. Look at the 2 of them in the screen. John Souter is playing for Scotland and Harry Souter is playing for Australia, the Kiwis or the Kangaroos or whatever you want to call them. But, for you, we've not really had that kind of... Okay, so in Atlanta, we have Celeste Babayaro and Emmanuel Babayaro, but Emmanuel Babayaro wasn't playing. It was
What
just...
do you call him again?
The Godfather.
Okay.
He's the Godfather. And
Because when you call him, so I was trying to remember, but
the
it could not come to
Godfather.
mind.
Yeah, that was the name that we used. I was in the under 17 camp of that Japan 93. I was invited to the camp. I was like the youngest, the smallest, me and Babayaro. That's a story for another day. And all these family affairs, which of the brothers do you think will go the farthest? Somebody shout Desiree Doué or Inaki Williams?
Obviously, sure, that's true. That's like 3. I feel like of the 8 names that we mentioned, 3 are likely to go further, which is Desiree Doué, France,
Ghana will
obviously.
go very far.
Which Ghana?
I'm not saying as a pair now. I'm saying like individually. There's Desiree Doué, there's the Hernandez brothers as well that look like they're going to go far, because France, obviously, going by the antecedents, going by the last 2 World Cups, they've been in the final of the last 2 World Cups.
Yes.
Won the one in 2018, lost the one.
They're trying to
by
repeat
penalty.
Brazil. Brazil won it in 94, was in the finals of 98, they lost, and 2002 they won it again.
So they have like a very proper, maybe not very golden but effective generation right now. So Desiree Doué obviously will go very far. Then the Theo and Lucas Hernandez of France as well obviously will go far. You expect that Williams, the younger one, will also go far. With Spain, Nico Williams plays very fantastic. I think Spain are also one of the favorites going into this World Cup. Another team that have failed to live up to the expectation that I've had for them in the last few World Cups will be the Timber brothers, Urian and Quinten. Netherlands they also have Brobby. We've also mentioned Brobby. Now Brobby had a very fantastic season with Sunderland in the Premier League, scored amount of goals, bullied a lot of defenders, and I think like they have a very good team as well. And then Urian coming back just right in time, featured in the Champions League final, and now Arj's brother also called up. So I feel like those are the brothers that I feel like might go very far. France, obviously, Spain, and maybe Netherlands as an outside shout. I feel like maybe the rest of the brothers might have.
What team do you think have a chance to surprise? I have not won the World Cup before, like Spain did in 2010. So let me give you options so that we don't have to like jump around. There is the Netherlands, who have been perennial underachievers. They keep coming close, but losing out. They played in the finals in 78, if I'm not mistaken, lost to Argentina. Played in the finals in 2010, lost to Spain. You know, but they're always in that semi-finals, quarterfinals. Yeah, you understand? In 2014, they were in semi-finals. You sure?
Was it 2014? Yeah, I think so. There was one. They won the third place. Whether 2014 or 2018. One of
it should be 2018.
Okay,
2018 because I was in World Cup in 2014, and no, they were not there.
That's 2018.
Now, if you look at the Netherlands and Portugal that have a midfield to die for, that midfield is a midfield to die for. And then Belgium, whose golden generation have not faded away.
It was 14.
Okay.
2014, right?
Yeah, they beat Brazil in third place.
Okay, it was Brazil that they played in the third place.
Yeah.
Okay. So you look at all of this outsiders chance. Which one have the brightest chance or squad to be able to compete for the trophy?
Of the two names that we've mentioned, of just off right of what you just mentioned, I think it's Portugal. They're coming into this tournament with a squad that many people might not be looking at, but might be very effective. They don't have all of the star power, right?
That midfield is star power midfield.
Yeah, so I feel like people might also be underrating, because we had a discussion before coming into the studio that people might also be underrating their attack, right? Maybe
their attack does not really look like it.
Yeah, people are focusing on the midfield because they have the likes of Vitinha, they have the likes of Fernandez, and then João Neves, which are very fantastic. These are the three of the best five midfielders in Europe currently. If you mention five midfielders in Europe currently, I think you pick three of them as three of the best.
And then their defense is also good.
Their defense is quite solid as well.
Not sure.
There's Bruno Fernandes.
Costa, I'm not sure. If
Maybe. There's Bruno Diaz. There's Ben Diaz. There's Cancelo, and then Bruno.
There's Semedo somewhere. There's Dalot.
You see this Mendes boy, bro.
Forget about that. Left back is locked down unless he gets injured.
And all of that. So I mean, their midfield is also
like Pavard in that 2018 French team.
Their midfield is three of the best. I repeat, three of the best five.
But let's look at the attack.
The attack also.
Attack wins you game. I know that they say defense win you championship. Attack win you
might
game.
not be very flashy, but I think they've got some really decent
Rafael
Leao,
he doesn't track back.
Ronaldo.
Without the ball is useless. Cristiano Ronaldo without the ball. Ronaldo fans will attack me now. Well, without the ball, Cristiano Ronaldo is useless. Bernardo Silva, I always see him as busy doing nothing. How does that attack work?
I think Bernardo Silva cannot be busy doing nothing. I think it was a very core part of Pep Guardiola's side. Maybe they've not been able to effectively use him as well in the Portuguese national team.
It wasn't called to Pep Guardiola. It was just playing matches, but it wasn't the guy.
No.
Because when the guys who were making it happen left, he couldn't make anything happen. Yes, they won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, but
I think even when he was leaving towards the end, Pep Guardiola said it was one of his most important signings.
What would Pep Guardiola say? What do you expect him to say?
You could have said other things other than that, actually. But then I think...
No, but what do you expect him to say? That's the kind of thing he will say. See, the season where Kevin De Bruyne was the anchor. The season where Gundogan did what he did. The season where David Silva... I'm coming. The season where David Silva did what he did. Can you point to a season where... This is the season where Bernardo Silva took the team by the scruff of the neck.
I think the semi-final
against Madrid,
when he scored 2 goals and had a couple of assists in both legs.
Yeah.
I think it was really crucial.
So it's like season thing.
No, I think he's also been a very perfect supporting cast. Not everybody's going to be a Kevin De Bruyne.
So we're building the Portuguese attack.
Yeah.
How does it work for you?
So these are their forward lines. There's Rafael Leao. There's Francisco Conceição. There's Pedro Neto. There's Pedro Neto who had a decent game, a decent season with Chelsea. There's Trincao. There's Joao Felix, who has also had like a resurgitation kind of with Diana starting in all of that in distance. So there's also Gonzalo Ramos. I think that's where I'm coming to. Gonzalo Ramos showed in the last World Cup when there were a bit of issues with Cristiano Ronaldo and not starting with the Manchester United team. I remember Gonzalo Ramos was that guy that came in and was scoring some fantastic goals. He also ended that move, I think, from Benfica to Paris Saint-Germain from then on. So I feel like he's also
really had good games.
Yeah, he's also a very decent supporting cast for them if they need attackers. Also, we've also seen, right, the Spanish national team that won the 2010 World Cup didn't have, maybe they had more. The Spanish national team from 2008 to 2012, they won the Euros in 2008, won the World Cup in 2010, and won the Euros in 2012. Had Fabregas at a point as the number 9.
Yes.
They played as a team that eventually now decentered a centre forward, right? They didn't really need the attackers to be able to function. They functioned more with very exceptional midfielders. And I think Portugal can also have that kind of season. It can also have that kind of tournaments where you don't really need your attackers to have like a very big function, right? You just need the right amount of midfielders to do the right. And if they have the 3 of the best midfielders in this competition, I believe they can go ahead to do what they can to do that. Also, when they were winning the Euros in 2016, they didn't really have all of these fancy names. Right, they just add the grind. They just add the players that wanted to play for Ronaldo. You know, Quaresma was chipping in his own beats. Quaresma and Bernardo Silva, I don't really see any difference when it comes to like supporting cast, right? Mm-hmm. So they can always support the cast of Cristiano Ronaldo, maybe you have Felix, and maybe also Gonzalo Ramos in there as the normal attackers. There's also Rafael Leao. As bad as Rafael Leao is also a Jeremy Doku, right? They might not get to the figures, they don't have the numbers, but they are always the difference makers. They can always get you something. They can always
keep going down the line and threatening you.
They'll always match at you. So if you have a Rafael Leao that can always get things done, there's also Pedro Neto. He's also in that bracket. These guys are, maybe you would not say they are exceptional talents when it comes to wing, but they are wingers. Right, they are pure wingers. They are men that can beat their men. They can always put something in the box for them and all of those kind of things. So I believe they don't need to have a spectacular attack like France. They don't need to have a Dembele, a Cherki, a Mbappe, and all of those guys, Thuram, all those kind of players, and all those kind of things. But I believe that if they can play together with it, they have an outside chance of being that team has never won the World Cup before, to then come in and win.
Yeah, why I go to Timothy for
I wanted to back up Mikolo's point before.
Okay, before you back up, prepare for whatever we have to do with Brazil. Let me hear your backup.
Okay. I just wanted to back up his point, saying that I think what we are being deceived by is the flashiness of the attack. But to an extent, these players are efficient. If you go to their club sides, Bernardo Silva, like you mentioned, does his bits. Rafael Leao does his bits. Pedro Neto. I mean, we don't need. And one thing that works for if the coach
was that when Cagliari did what Cagliari did.
If the coach can utilize, and when I'm saying utilize, be tactically efficient. Be thinking at every minute. You know that you have Cancelo, who in a normal day you can even call him a winger. You have Nuno Mendes on the left side, who in a normal day you know that these guys will always bomb forward. And once you already
Nuno Mendes and João Neves and Vitinha are the guys that made Arteta come out to say he saw individual brilliance that he has never seen before in his life.
And once you have midfielders like Vitinha, that's what I'm saying. Vitinha will always be at the base. Vitinha is not a player that wants to go forward and always. You already have Bruno Fernandes.
It's a deep line midfielder.
Vitinha always, so you can form a base of split your defenders, make Vitinha
the
or
Paris
Neves
Saint-Germain
the base,
style.
and before, even if your wing backs, this is Cancelo or Dalot or whoever, Mendes is going forward. You know that before something happens, you already have midfielders that can track back. So that's why I said it's dependent on the coach to be efficient in the way he uses them. Even though you don't have super wingers, but you have super wing backs that can go forward.
Word. Bars. Clock it.
You have super wingers that can do something. I mean, Cancelo is a dribbler on his own. He can shoot, he can score, he can cross the ball very well. Mendes as well can shoot, can cross the ball very well.
If Portugal flop at this World Cup,
We are not anybody. Any team can flop now.
Cut to the top
so any team can flop because, for example,
no, don't worry.
See, Saka and Madueke, what is their output this season?
Let's go on this break. When we come back, we will x-ray the Brazilian attack and the French attack. They say France have an army that can fight multiple war and win all of them right now.
Led by Mugabe.
One army is led by Mugabe. There's another. I mean, somebody said that France can hire Zidane to coach the team that did not make it to this World Cup. And they will play in another tournament and they might win it. I don't know how true that is, but we'll talk about that when we come back. And then Brazil wrapping an injured Neymar. And they say, oh, Brazil have done it before when they took Cristiano, Ronaldo da Lima to the 2002 World Cup. They've done it before and they won. They also did it with Testao. They also did it with Romario, who was not part of the plan until that game against Uruguay. And then he went to USA 94 and they won. Maybe this is when Neymar will redeem himself. Well, when we come back from the break, we'll talk about all of that. And then still to come on the show, the Emilio in Madrid. We would also talk about that. Well, let's go on this break. We'll be back. Back, and it's been boiling and hot in the studio. Some people want to put their kidney, liver, and even their heart or their aorta valve for Portugal. But let's see, is Portugal that team that we can all risk our life for? Is Portugal that team that you can say, I'm going to sleep, I know that the heavens, the galaxy aligned for Messi in Qatar? Maybe it is going to align for Cristiano Ronaldo and his Portuguese teammates in the US. Well, the last time the US hosted the World Cup, it was a traditional team that won it. So let's look at one of the traditional teams. Now, France. France have players at home that are not coming to this World Cup that would walk straight into the starting lineup of a lot of teams in this tournament. So let's x-ray that team. What do you think of the French team, Timothy?
The team that did not make it to the
No,
World
the
Cup.
one that they took.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, for the team that made it to the World Cup, I mean, France will always be favourites going into. Let me say them since they won it. I think they will always be in that conversation of being favourites of winning the World Cup. I mean, going into 2022, I heard people saying, that before 2022. Every winner has always lost out in the group stage. Yeah. And I was saying this is not going to happen with the French national team. And they went on to the final, lost on penalty. So for this team, I feel like they are solid. And number one, aside the fact that they are a strong team, they have a super coach. I mean, you don't get lucky by playing in the World Cup final back to back.
No.
I mean, you were just maybe a few or maybe 1 minute of brilliance from winning it in 2022
no,
again.
Great save.
Exactly. That's I say maybe another person could have played it in another way. So it's not a thing of maybe this man is just trying to fraud his way to get it to the final and okay, let's this thing. And for Didier Deschamps, I think this is his last World Cup. Will be leaving the French national team. For the team itself,
for Zidane.
I mean, Zidane a man.
One devil and bringing in another one.
Do you know how long it is you have to say you're not going to accept any job just because you want a particular job? I mean, you hold yourself in the high standard.
But he's done it. I mean, he won 3 Champions League. What do you really want him to do again in club football?
Doesn't want to soil it. Doesn't want to soil his
and you don't want to
reputation.
soil that name.
Yeah,
At the back to back, it's going to take forever. Before Zidane, there have been no French manager that have won the Champions League. And then he rescued them by taking 3 and say, let's go and prove yourself.
Yeah, that's a lot. But for the French national team, I think where I have an issue with them is maybe
Mugabe?
no. I don't have an issue with Mugabe. I feel like they'll sort out whatever they have, and sometimes these players know who the bigger player is. It's left to them to now say, are we going to do it? Are we going to do it for this person?
But the problem now is that who is the bigger player?
We know it's
Dembele.
Mbappe.
They have a Ballon d'Or owner is currently in that team.
There's a Ballon d'Or winner, there's a back-to-back Champions League winner, and you're calling Mbappe.
Mbappe is still the biggest player in the team. Maybe because of the accolades, Dembele. But one thing that I know Dembele.
Do you think that the way the players bow down to worship Mbappe in 2022, that time they didn't have chips on their shoulders, they didn't have anything. Do you think that they will come in this one? And you know how many PSG players are in the French team who will look at Mbappe and say, come, we won the Champions League back to back. You were signed by Madrid to go win the Champions League. And in that period where you were signed, we won the Champions League back to back. Everything you've won with this team before, with the Paris Saint-Germain team, the league and the cup, we've also won.
I feel like I understand that perspective, but if you still look at the French national team itself, in terms of standard, go to 2018 World Cup. You can't take out Mbappe's name from
that was
2018.
In 2022, Mbappe was the top scorer. Was he not?
Yeah,
he was the top scorer of the World Cup.
Hold on.
You also cannot take out that fact.
Timothy, are you the same guy?
He's still that guy.
That before you went to AFCON, and now you're the same guy?
No.
But are you still the same boss?
Yes, because I mean,
because you have also grown in ranks now. So it
it
doesn't mean that Timothy will not come and
that's the point. That's the point.
Irrespective of the AFCON that Timothy has gone,
it doesn't mean I'll come and look you.
We've seen
it's Didier Deschamps. He's the coach. That's in my position. I'm like Didier Deschamps.
No, let's say you're Mbappe.
Does it mean? Nicolo is Mbappe. He has gone to an AFCON before. I'm still not disrespecting him.
You go come up for this thing if you disrespect him.
That's what we are saying. So the thing is that Mbappe still holds the power, right? I feel like irrespective of what they've won with their club, the difference maker in that national team, what Mbappe did in that final, bro. No, I watched the boy again yesterday. I'm like, no. He took the Bulls by the horn in 95 seconds. In the space of 95 seconds, he go from 2-0 to 2-2. Macron was jumping on his feet.
No, but you know what happened there. But you know what happened there, Sha? There were 2 elements that made that thing happen. The removal of Angel Di Maria and the 2 players that Didier Deschamps brought on. Changed the game. Marcus Thuram and Kolo Muani. Changed the game completely.
I just feel like
the executor was
Mbappe. Not something that you can.
You don't score 3 penalties against Emiliano Martinez. Nobody can, and you scored all 3.
Yeah, the game changer, the executor was Mbappe. I'm not taking anything away from Mbappe. I'm just thinking maybe body language will change, maybe attitude will change.
And that's why
because we saw that with France in 2010.
That's what I was going to for Dembele, because Dembele is not that guy that has that. He doesn't really want that attention. He just wants to play his football.
I agree with you.
I mean, you see many times Enrique takes him out in the 60th minute, 65th minute. He's not complaining. In fact, he goes to the sideline and he's cheering on his teammates. So it's about winning for Dembele. So once you don't have that guy who is clashing ego with Mbappe, and there's no Griezmann in this team as well. Conte can say, okay, maybe the senior man. It was also crucial to winning the 2018 World Cup.
Doesn't even
but Conte is not that guy also who has that
ego thing.
Mbappe kind of character. So I feel like they'll be fine. For Bakola Dre, they're not even starters in the first place. So
those ones are not on the list.
So
they're not in the conversation.
What are you now coming to tell me that okay, this thing only say it's just this is the first big
it might be the problem.
Problem? In what way?
Olise might be just the problem because right now there's 150 million on his head. He's going to go to Madrid. Leave all those shakara that Bayern are making. That visa company will be told, "Shut up. We need this money."
I think
right?
if
and that boy have. Yeah, I wouldn't want to use the word attitude. He have one kind of aura that makes him just be very nonchalant. Like, he's
nonchalant final boss.
Wait till consign me. Who be Mbappe?
I get what you're saying. Anyway.
And Mbappe might be like, "Who is this small boy?" And like,
but I think for Olise, I mean, Olise had been without the national team for years. I remember when we were trying to say, okay, you should come
The
and play
boy
for
no
Nigeria.
care.
No, my own point of view now is also that I think Olise doesn't have the kind of cultural relevance and acceptance that Mbappe has with the French people and with the national team as well. So I don't think they are ever going to back a Michael Olise over a Kylian Mbappe. I've seen interviews, apart from the fact that he has good footballing talent, I've also seen interviews where I think a French reporter was trying to ask him a question in French, and then he didn't know that it was live. You know, he didn't know how to really speak French properly.
No, he doesn't.
And they had to switch to English. So I don't think he's fully accepted as a leader, irrespective of what his talent is, whatever. As you've said, it's only his first season. Kylian Mbappe is the leader of the French national team. The guys that are supposed to be able to take that leadership now, the likes of Paul Pogba, the likes of Griezmann, the likes of Olivier Giroud, and everybody has now
All
left
out.
the team. So it is his team now. The likes of Matuidi, all of those senior guys are now
They
gone
play-
away
Matuidi
from
had
the
that
team.
2018 World Cup.
So basically,
What about
this
2014?
is his team now, right? So this is his team now. I don't think anybody, if there was ever any doubt, I feel like even what we've seen in this preseason camp, the kind of videos that have been coming out doesn't show that anybody's dethroning him anytime soon.
Yeah.
This guy is dining with presidents, right? This is the guy that before he left Paris Saint-Germain, the president of this country was calling him multiple times to make sure that he was tied down to the Ligue 1. So he has that kind of power with the club, not even now mention the national team. I saw a video yesterday where Emmanuel Macron was standing up at his brilliance, right? Making the whole president jump up and that feel. So
Number
I feel
one
like
person of the country.
Forget
the
decorum.
way it was, the way it was,
President, forget
I saw,
etiquette.
I saw videos of recently where I think the female team were also in camp. Right? They are also at the Clairefontaine and all of that. So they are camping. They are taking pictures together. Then the dignitaries, right, the presidency were around, and the way and manner in which Kylian Mbappe was relating to these guys. Bro, he owns that team. There's nobody. They will sacrifice you on the altar of whatever it is that you are. Nobody takes. And then the only person that also has
this type of talk, now it destroy one company.
the
Why
also-
no?
the only
But
person
let
that
me
can
not
also
mention
the
name.
also person that can compete with him with star power, as we've said, is a devout Muslim, just wants to do his own thing and just go his own way. And Ballon d'Or is not getting to his head. If it was Mbappe that has the Ballon d'Or right now, or more. Now you go the right list.
Let's go to the country that made us fall in love with football.
Samba boys.
The country that introduced the jersey number 10 to the world, that made people look at the number 10 as a holy grail. Brazil has really lost some relevance, so some things. Now look at this squad that Brazil have. They are not even going into the tournament as the odds-on favorite to win the tournament. Yes, there is Hendrick, there's Vinicius, but you look at the midfield. But that team, I want to focus on one guy.
Did you guys see
That 5 years ago, nobody in this world could have predicted that he would play in the Brazilian national team for a friendly match, not to mention the World Cup. The Brentford striker, what's that his name again?
Igor Thiago.
I mean, what a story. It's like Jamie Vardy's story. 5 years ago, this guy was in a trailer park wanting to be a truck driver. Today, he's at the World Cup, and he will play against. Yeah. So you look at this guy, and you said, as a teenager, he never had this dream. There are young Neymar, there is Pele, there is Vinicius, there's Hendrick, there is Kaká, there's Juninho, there's Pato, who as teenagers, everybody already know this guy will play for the national team. This guy is destined. Oscar Nguaba, Ramirez, and the rest of them. But then there's this guy who was at 16, 17, thinking he was going to be one mechanic or one truck driver. And yeah, he's playing at the World Cup. I saw him in some of the friendly games that Brazil played, even the qualifiers. He had his own very well. But let's extract the Brazilian squad again. Was there a reason to pick Neymar?
I think Neymar's peak was not really footballing reasons.
Wouldn't Joao Pedro do anything that Neymar would have done?
So the thing is, it's just like with this guy in the Nigerian national team, this guy that I always like to slate, this defender. I'll remember his name later. His name is in my head somewhere.
The guy playing in Portuguese league?
Yeah.
No, Awasem is who you want
Yeah,
to be.
Awasem.
Yeah, so I feel like for Neymar, it wasn't footballing reasons. First off, let's also understand the fact that as
So
big as
for the record, my mind was going to Zaidu Sanusi before.
no.
So,
Zaidu plays a part in the game. Zaidu is a left back. I'm talking about if we're talking about.
No, I wasn't. My mind just went.
Chidozie Awazem is a camp vibe kind of person, right? So I feel like that's what Neymar is coming to bring here. For example, let's also understand the fact that Carlo Ancelotti is a big name in football.
Massive
right?
name.
Massive name is the guy that doesn't cater to ego. But this is also national team. And with national team, they are national figures, they are national heroes, right? National teams don't care about your pedigree as a coach, right? They care about
The
national
structure
symbol.
and symbol.
National symbol.
Token.
What football represents for me as an Arsenal fan is different from what football represents for me as a Nigerian football fan, right? So
When I say this, people don't understand. So when I talk about the Super Eagles, it's different. My expectation for Arsenal players, we win, good, you know. For Super Eagles, but if they come play well.
Yeah, there's a level of attachment that gets to you that is different from what club football does. Club football is banter. Club football is online, right? I feel like for national team football is identity. We went to Morocco. There was nobody asking me, "Are you an Arsenal fan?"
No.
There's nobody saying, "Oh, do you like Cazorla? Do you like Mesut Ozil? Or do you like Bukayo? Do you like?"
Once you mention Nigeria, you
The
start
fact that
hearing Okocha, Mokachi, Kanu, Olise, Finidi,
we saw with our driver, Labi. He was talking about Finidi. He was talking about Rashidi Yekini. And all of those guys that have played national football. So I feel like for national teams, right, they are national heroes. They are national symbols. The number 10 jersey is a national symbol for Brazil. And in the last 10 years or so, the person that has carried on that legacy, with the likes of Ronaldo Gucho, the likes of the previous name that have won this jersey, has been that man, Neymar. He also embodies what it means to be a Brazilian football player.
Yeah.
Right? That is identity. It is beyond we just want to win. It's about who is the player I can look right now and say, this guy is Brazilian. Right? This is the guy. I mean, we joke a lot during the season. We say Gabriel Martinelli does not play like a Brazilian player. Who plays like a Brazilian player currently? Nobody currently. The only player that we are seeing is
Vinicius,
always
slated
for playing the Brazilian way. He's always now been ridiculed for playing the Brazilian way. So I feel like the last loved player that was playing the Brazilian way and is still loved is Neymar. And that is the person that they look on as a national identity. So it's not necessarily about, oh, he's coming to play. It's about, we are going to a tournament. I remember the days of Mikel Obi. Mikel Obi can be playing number 4 role in Chelsea. He might be
sitting on the bench.
Might be playing 60 minutes to 90 minutes. But once it is coming to national team,
Super Eagles jersey.
Mikel is number 10. He's our leader. He's our captain. He's that guy. And he will come into the team and play as number 10, even when he's not playing that for the full season. I remember the 2013 World Cup, the 2013 AFCON that we finally won under the late coach Stephen Keshi. After the first few games, I think it was after the first game, people had to say, let's plead with Mikel to come and play as a number 4 and come and play with Igor. What's that guy? There's this guy, Igor something. There was this guy that
I know the person you're talking about. I forgot his name.
Yeah. I think they eventually played, and then we introduced the likes of Onazi and all of those kind of guys to now eventually play, and then that was when we were able to function. But you still have to give that respect. He's the captain of the national team. Is the iconic figure that people look up to in the national team to say, oh, Neymar has to come and play. And sadly, last week I think he got injured for 2 weeks. He's still going to participate. He's going to be in the camp. Is that guy that's... I mean, also, we also have to factor in the fact that 90% of the squad in Brazil now, at a point in their career, looked up to Neymar as an idol.
Yes.
As a role model, right? If you call the even the likes of Vinicius, which are like the bigger names now, let's not even mention the likes of Hendrick, the likes of maybe Pedro, the likes of all of these guys are kids, right? Even the bigger names, the Marquinhos, the Gabriel Magalhaes, these are guys that looked up to this guy when he was 17. They were watching his highlight at 16 when he was in Santos. So he's that guy that's always able to speak and they listen. So I believe that Carlo Ancelotti also knows that, and this is why he has also included him in the squad. You don't want to go to a tournament feeling like the spirit
and his star power and branding and all that.
You don't want to go to a tournament feeling like the spirit of Brazil has left you, or people are back home and not supporting you because you've not picked a particular player. So I mean, he's also back in the league now. He's doing his beats, giving them the PR that they deserve. So a lot of Brazilians also connect with him. They connect with the kind of things he's doing. So I believe that's the reason. If he's going to play, I doubt if he's going to play so much play a big role in this. But I feel like a leadership role is always going to play that. But on the field of play, I believe it's going to come into the field. Where I have an issue with Brazil would be their choice of number 9. Right, their choice of number 9. Is it going to be Hendrick? Is it going to be Igor Thiago? Igor Thiago scored 22 goals, the highest scoring Brazilian in the Premier League. It set the record for the highest scoring Brazilian season. Beat the likes of Firmino, beat the likes of Martinelli. They had like 16, 15. Igor Thiago scored 22, and now it looks like that guy that's going to come. There's the likes of Rafinha. There's Vinicius. So that's pairing, right, is what I'm yet to know what's going to happen. Hendrick scored in the friendly game, I think 2 days ago. Scored a very fantastic goal. Played with Rafinha. It was a very nice assist and all that. So how they're going to do that pairing is what I'm waiting to see with Carlo Ancelotti at the World Cup.
Well, let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll talk about the one-sided election in Madrid, and then we'll touch a bit on the African teams, the key African teams, Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal.
And the hate watch that's coming.
And there is a definite hate watch that's coming. Ghana, you have been spared this time around. Ghana, nobody is going to hate on Ghana this time around. We have a common enemy, and they are in the south part of the continent. But let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll wrap up with that. From the analysis of the two experts that I have in the studio, what I would say to you, underrate Brazil at your own peril. They may not have what we saw in 2002. By all counts, in the modern era, 2002 was the greatest squad Brazil has ever put out after 1970. Let's remember that in 1982, they came to the World Cup in Italy with a great squad, the Socrates and all that, but they still did not win anything. This squad may not have all those, in one squad where you have Kaká, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, Ronaldo da Lima, Cafu, Roberto Carlos in one squad. But every position seems to just be as good as the French team. In goal, they have 2 Premier League winner, Alisson Becker and Ederson, and one other goalkeeper.
Is one of the best
and then you have the defense. You can bank on that defense. Gabriel Magalhaes and his gang, and then in midfield, Casemiro and his gang.
To not make goals going.
You understand?
Like those 2 centre back players,
Gabriel and
they'll put their body on the line.
And then you have the attack line that can rotate. If you're not playing with the intelligence of Rafinha on the left, you're playing with Vinicius. If you're not playing with Vinicius, you have Martinelli to come from the bench to add speed and precision sometimes when he chooses to. Someone asked me if I would like Arsenal to sell Martinelli. I said no. Sell Trossard, sell Bukayo Saka, but keep Martinelli. I still think he's going to be useful for the team. I know this is the one where Nicolo want to beat me.
Sell Saka, keep Martinelli.
Yes,
go
sell Saka, keep Martinelli.
For that club.
They can't keep coming my membership. It's my family club. Okay, so having said that, let's go to Madrid. Yes, they don't have a Madrid player in the Spanish national team going to the World Cup, but Madrid has still done enough to make sure they made the most headline, the most traction, the most talking point leading up to this World Cup. For full disclosure, there was not meant to be election in this period. They called this election, and I thought it was a fears just to be in the news, and Emiloko won. This man is the Odudugbo Igbo one of Madrid. But that's not the side I'm taking it to. In the last 4 or so elections, he's returned unopposed. He's 78 or 76. And then all of a sudden, a boy who was 6 or 7 years old when he first became president of Real Madrid contested against him and got 31.4% of the vote. Is that a good sign for Enrique Riquelme for the future? Or he's just wasted his time?
It is a good sign, and no doubt, even though when the election was going to hold, I was confident that Fiorentino Perez would win.
Yeah.
Because when he came out to do a press conference in May 12th, that was when he called for the election. Normally, his mandate, which he stood unopposed from, I think there's not been an election where
Since 2009.
challenged him since 2009, and he called for the election. And in some exclusives that I read, I noted that why he did that was because Madrid has gone 2 seasons without winning anything. They're beginning to be some grumbles, and it felt like
the white flags were coming out.
You people can come and challenge me, and that was what brought about Enrique Riquelme.
It is aura on the line. Are you still with me or against me?
I was quite confident that
I am of Madrid.
He was going to win, because for you to call for an election, he knows how to play his game. He's a good politician. He's a good businessman. But for Enrique Riquelme, whether it's a good sign, it is, because if you from nowhere, I'm not sure anybody knew about him just before these 2-3 months. Some people knew about him, but the majority of football lovers or even the majority of Madrid followers never knew about him. But in these past 2-3 months, they began to know about him. It's a good sign, firstly, for you to commit over 200 million euros in wealth at that age. It means
that's a guarantee.
Yes, because for Madrid election, I think it's about 1/4.
Don't worry, we'll make the money.
It's about
leave Jesus out of this.
It's about 1/4 of your wealth.
37 years old.
On the revenue.
Hey,
that's a part of it, though. Not even.
That's not all of his money.
Yeah, that's a part of it.
That's 1/4.
Exactly. So, and for him to come out to be able to, I felt it was quite bold. Although he tried to use the Fiorentino Perez strategy in 2006, where he said he was
he's a disciple of Perez.
Exactly, where he said he was going to sign Luis Figo from Barcelona, and then he eventually signed him, did all his work and signed him. Although he said he was going to sign Erling Haaland, and his representative and his father debunked it. He said he was going to sign the club. They also debunked it. I feel it's a good one for him. What he needs to do now is there will most likely be an election. This is 2026. In 2030, I don't think that for him to have contested now, he would want to let Fiorentino Perez go unopposed in 2030. I feel like there will be another election. It's good for him, but at that time, I think Perez should be actually scared. I think what would judge is the success of what happens with Madrid between now and 2030. If everything doesn't change, if the club doesn't, if Barcelona still keep dominating in La Liga,
Perez is gone.
If Barcelona keep dominating in La Liga, maybe, I think what they've always used in previous years is use the Champions League to cover the face. If they win 1 or 2 Champions League again, I feel like, we'll get the angle of, but if they don't win the La Liga, or they don't do well, or they feel like they've not challenged Barcelona, because for Madrid fans, it's always about Barcelona. It is, I don't know if I'll say it is a
obsession.
It is. For Barcelona too, it's always about Madrid. This is a competition. This is
so let me give you context to that. There is a political side to it. When we say politics does not involve football. Football is politics.
Exactly.
So Madrid see themselves as the core Spain. That's why this non-selection of Madrid players, this conversation never ends. They see Barcelona as a non-Spanish region.
Basque,
They're Catalonia, they're Basque region. So in Nigeria, they are part of this country. So I used to date a girl way back in the early days. She's from Ebonyi State, from Akezi in Abakileke's side of Ebonyi State. And we're just talking one day, and somebody came to visit, and he said, "This ones that will sue people. They are not, we're talking." So kind of like inferior, like slaves. Mm-hmm. That's how Madrid people see the Basque people, the Catalonians. So to now have those people dominating Spain over my dead body.
Then
That's the feeling.
I think since Figo joined then too, it has
And then that
grown,
cross.
like,
I mean, they've had cross. Enrique played for both teams. Figo played for both teams. There are few players
Ronaldo.
like that. But the stealing, then Ronaldo too, but then the stealing of Samuel Eto'o. Right? Samuel Eto'o went from Madrid reject to Mallorca and then to what he did for Barcelona. It's incredible. And then all those, animosity that exists with those. And let's not forget the King of Spain openly affirmed that he's a Madrid fan. This matter never end.
I think my own angle to what Timothy has said about the election in 2030 is that irrespective of what happens between now and then, Florentino Perez is currently 79. Right, by then it's going to be 84. Right, I feel like what
83
this guy has done now, Riquelme has done, is has put himself in a very prime position to be the one to succeed Florentino Perez, and I think that's a very bold move, right? A bold move to say that I'm capable of this. I have look at my finances. I have the finances. I have the boldness. I have the balls to be able to come up against Florentino Perez. So I feel like it's just like in politics in Nigeria as well. Irrespective of who loses, I think at a point there's always like a roundtable discussion to say, oh, you were a very good competitor. Come to my table and let's see what we can.
That's why I want to bring to you.
Yeah.
Do you think that he chose the wrong time to compete? Because Florentino Perez couldn't have built this stadium, change everything, and you just think you should swoop in and take glory because you want to. Because they've not won on the field, but they've won in structure. They've won in investment. The club is now worth €2 billion, right? It's the most expensive sports property in the whole world. So all of that, I felt it was. Maybe he should have waited. If he should have Fubara himself, or did a Fashola and waited and let Perez to anoint him the next time out. Because between now and that time, Perez could also play a card of say, this boy no get respect, he no lawyer, and bring someone else that the Madrid stars would want to vote for. I'm just thinking aloud.
I think until then we're going to know what.
Maybe I'm thinking like a Nigerian.
Well, I think by then we're going to see.
Infected me.
I think by then we're going to see if it was a calculated move or a foolish move, right? Because I feel like also depending on how the game was played, right? If it was not played dirty, because I've not seen any defeating, I've not seen Riquelme come out to say, oh, this man is bad, he's chopping our money or this kind of things. It's just basically said that, oh, the club needs to move on and move to new ideas. I have so people I want to sign. So I feel like whatever happens between now and 2030 is a game, right? It's a game for both parties. And I feel like Riquelme has put himself in a very prime position to be seen, right? So I feel like if someone has 30-something% of voters right now, it means that there's also a bit of backing that's something that's there. So
let me tell you that
people believe
just to add to what you are saying, do you know that there is Raul somewhere, there's Casillas somewhere who are also on his side? Because if you look at these guys, they are key Madrid legends.
Yeah.
And most times for the voters too, like you said when we were talking about Brazil, it's about who they are connected to.
True.
Madridistas are connected to Casillas. They are connected to Raul Gonzalez. This guy has them.
Raul is the son of the king.
Because I mean, he was saying that Raul was going to be his sporting director. Casillas would also be part of the technical director and all of those things. So these guys on his side would also give him. I think would also help him.
Yeah.
If there will be an election in 2030.
Okay. Well, let's look at a few African teams. Next Monday, we will spread the rest. Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal. Let's start with those three.
Di
Mama
So for you, Timothy, what do you make of these three teams? What's their chances? Last time at Morocco were in the semi-finals.
Yeah, I don't know if they will get to the semi-final again.
This time?
But I feel like they would also go far. So Morocco,
So go far is where?
I mean, because it's a tournament that has increased. There's a round of 32. If they get to the quarterfinal, I'll still put it side by side with getting to the semi-final in 2022. So
same number of games.
If they get into the quarterfinal, I'll say that okay, they've done decent. And kudos to Walid Regragui. He built this team, and that's one thing. I don't want to digress, but I'll just say it shortly. I feel like we should not be at a stage where just one competition should not decide what
you make of a coach.
Exactly, because that's the mistake we keep making with Nigerians. When Morocco got to the 2022 World Cup semi-final, at the AFCON 2023, they lost out in the round of 16. They could have said, "Oh my boy, you know Sabio, that World Cup
You're
22
lucky.
where you enter, come out, can't they go?" But they left him. You saw how much they were grinding,
That's
and
because
they got
there's
to
a plan.
the final of
There's
the
a plan.
2025 AFCON.
Yeah,
Somehow-
that can work with countries where there are plans.
There are
that's what I'm
In
saying.
long-term plans.
Nigeria,
Long-term
will
plans.
not get planned.
That's what I'm saying.
Our plan,
Nigeria will
our
live
plan
on
depends on
luck.
the NFF president.
We live on luck, and my mom used to say
And 10.
the problem with living on luck is you don't know when your luck is going to run out. So the NFF president, if he's just starting, he might leave you. If he's not just starting, if his tenure is like already shaking, it will fire you to. We're always putting out fire. We're always doing damage control. We are reactive people. Morocco had a plan. The plan was to run from like 10 years ago into 2030.
Into
That's
their
the
World
real
Cup, yeah.
plan. So winning on the 20, going to on the 17, hosting all this tournament is stress testing their facility, administrative ability, capacity, their rail system. Now they know that they need to improve the rail system before. You see that fast train that we used? It wasn't there during the WAFCON.
WAFCON.
So they are turning over their train system, improving a lot of things, preparing for the World Cup.
I mean, even the
We don't have anything
even
that
the
we're
train
preparing
station
for.
that was at the stadium in Rabat.
Yes,
wasn't there
it wasn't
before.
there.
It wasn't
So
there.
Rabat, it's
Rabat
different.
view.
Nigeria no put up for that map.
Back to the conversation of Morocco. I feel like Walid built a good team, and then it has also transcended to when you bring a coach. That's one of the progress I'm talking about. They brought the
The under 20
coach
winning World Cup winning
who
coach
won
in
the
Chile.
World Cup to come and succeed in. So they already know that this is he brought some of those young players too that played at the World Cup into the national team. So it's there's a connection. It's not about also just go somewhere and just pick someone else. That's why you can see when they played against Norway yesterday. Norway is a European side. Let's not forget that they have the likes of Erling Haaland, Odegaard. Odegaard may not be good, but I mean he has been at.
Oh, okay. Okay, that guy is not good now.
I mean, it may not be like
He's
in
having
good, but at least
a struggling season.
Exactly.
That guy not good.
They
But
signed Madrid signed Benzema for 16. Say no good
But at the point we have seen Odegaard give us.
So anybody
a
with
good-
Madrid sign
a
must be good.
at 16. that boy was his most sought after player in Europe. Oh.
Okay.
But at the point we have seen Odegaard giving a good glimpse of what football can be about. They also have Oscar Bob, who left Manchester City, was very good when he was playing for them. So if you can compete against a side like that, and you even took the lead, and then it took almost all your star players leaving the pitch to go for
that
Norway
same
to score.
Odegaard to equalize.
Exactly. So
They go
it's-
shock everybody.
It's very nice. And looking at their squad, Hakimi on the right, one of the best right back in Europe. Noza Mazraoui on the left. They have a defense of maybe Issa Diop or Riyad or Agred in between. In midfield, they've got Unai, they've got El Kanous. In attack, they've got Saibari,
Yes,
who is
Saibari.
also
Who's going to Bayern
Bayern
Munich?
Munich.
Yeah.
They've got Brahim Diaz, one
Unai.
of the best. They've got I mentioned Unai.
Unai,
They've got Saibari. They've got El Kabi, who is very good with scoring with his head.
Kabi.
They drop.
This is what happens when you go to the AFCON.
Why
Why am I not loving this?
It's Brahim Diaz.
I mean, like their players are
Ibrahim
very-
Diaz, in short, they're not supposed to carry and go.
They're- because of the Panenka.
He's a star boy, he's a star boy.
I think he has learned.
He's a star player,
No,
sha.
he really helped them in the AFCON as
Yeah,
well.
He's a star player. And
He
it
took
was,
them- he
it
took
was
them in
fantastic.
the-
He
they
dragged
dragged
them all
that
the way
moment.
to the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also sold himself to the Moroccan fans. In that
So,
tournament.
Mikolo, as we wrap up, Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire.
I think champions. Are we still calling them champions?
I don't
We
know.
have two champions.
We are still in cast.
Depends on where you want to. Champions by medals, champions by courts. So
Yeah, so I feel like
We have field
I
champion
was-
and boardroom champion.
I was watching somebody's video yesterday. Is a friend of ours. He is this white guy from Scotland. I've forgotten his name right now, but he's also been at the WAFCON. We also saw him at the AFCON, and then he mentioned that this might also be one of the biggest teams, one of the strongest teams that we are taking to a World Cup tournament from Africa, because the Senegalese team are not flashy,
No,
right?
but they're effective.
but they're very,
Very
very
efficient.
effective, right? Very, very efficient. So I feel like they also, I mean,
And they don't
it was just-
panic under
it was-
pressure.
it was just like
those
the AFCON.
boys are
Do
demons.
you understand? There's also some sort of confidence that they parade on the pitch that makes them feel like they are not African players, right?
The way they played that AFCON final, you knew that no for you.
We're not afraid of you.
They were
You
able
can
to
intimidate
weather
us how
the-
you
they
like,
were able
but we
to
don't
weather
fear
the
you.
storm in a very fantastic way. They didn't need to communicate all of those excuses that Nigeria was making in the semi-finals,
crowd.
where we were saying, "Oh, we couldn't hear the crowd." It was 90K fans out there in Rabat that were shouting. The referee was this, the referee was that. We saw all of that in the final, right? And Senegal held their ground. They had a very distinct style of play to the extent that they didn't really need to speak to each other to know where they were. And they have a leader. They listen to their leaders. They have a leader in every position. And I think that's the best part. There's Edouard Mendy in goal. There's Koulibaly in defense. There's Ganagay in midfield. And there's Sadio Mane up front. And even if you take out all of these players, they are young 19-year-old players, 20-year-old players, 21-year-old players. They fear nobody. There's even India that plays for Everton as well. That one that was losing goal. God save us. Barry later do wonders. If not, if I catch that.
Now, we were talking about the AFCON. You remember the goal where it was true on goal against Bono and should have scored. He played it to his leg.
He missed Everton against Man City as well. Missed like 3 chances in the first half before Barry eventually did what he was supposed to do. But yeah, I just feel like Mr. Barry.
let's go home.
But
because if I leave these people, they will not let you.
But yeah, I just feel like Senegal have like one of the highest chances of teams going into the World Cup from Africa.
That Papi guy too knows how to score.
What's wrong with the two of you?
There's a lot. There's also Nicholas Jackson, right? There seems to be.
Mikel Obi will fight you now.
There seems to be a different spirit when he plays for the Senegal team.
Even Nicolas Pepe.
Yeah, and all of those kind of things. So for Cote d'Ivoire as well, we saw them defeat France. I feel like there's going to be like a lot of surprises in this World Cup. The likes of Senegal, the likes of Morocco. Maybe Cote d'Ivoire can also have something.
I think that this Cote d'Ivoire team is one of the teams that we are underrating from Africa, but it's also a team that have quarterfinals attached to their name. I don't think that they will lose focus. I know that a lot of people are angry with them. What the Yaya Toure's and Co and Drogba couldn't do is it this squad. I think this squad is a squad that will go all the way. Well, we don't have all the time again.
We've no mentions of names.
No, we would.
Papagay.
I mentioned it. I did not that
producer.
Lamin Kamara, bro.
We are going. They say time flies when you're having fun, and it would be great to continue having this conversation. But guys, if there is any name we did not mention, any player that we did not talk about, any team that we've not mentioned, go to the comment section, put it there, tell us what you think about them, and make your predictions. Who's going to be in the last 8, the quarterfinals, who's going to be the last 4, who will make it to the finals, and who will win it. Well, while all of this is going on, you still have a chance to put a little thing. Don't put your house rent, don't put your school fees, don't put your savings. Yes, bet wisely on the Bet WGB platform. Go to the website and bet, and if you can walk into the shop, place a bet on a team that you think would win, increase your money. Your bills are not waiting. Your betting shouldn't wait. Win some money, sort out your bills in this Sakpa era so that you will not jackpot to the village. When people are jackpotting abroad, you're jackpotting backward. Have a wonderful time. See you and enjoy the World Cup. Bye-bye.